They say greatness is not born in comfort. It is forged in struggle. And for Donnie Yen, that journey began long before the world ever learned his name. Donnie Yen was born in 1963 in Guangzhou, China, into a family where martial arts was not a hobby, it was a way of life. His mother, Bao Sem Mark, was a respected wushu grandmaster. His father worked in a newspaper. Discipline was not taught, it was expected. Focus was not requested, it was demanded. At an age when most children were learning to walk steadily, Donnie was already learning how to kick, stretch, and strike. But destiny had more battles planned. When Donnie was still young, his family moved to Hong Kong and later to Boston, USA. Suddenly, he was a foreigner in an unfamiliar world. He barely spoke the language, he had no friends, and like many young immigrants, he learned quickly what loneliness tasted like. But instead of collapsing under pressure, Donnie turned inward and sharpened himself. While other teenagers played video games and chased distractions, Donnie trained. Hours a day, day after day, strike after strike, form after form, repetition after repetition. His mother pushed him to perfection, and if he wasn't perfect, he did it again. Donnie became obsessed with martial arts, not just the performance, but the science. He wasn't interested in being good, he wanted to be unstoppable. He trained in traditional kung fu, but also taekwondo, boxing, karate, judo, and eventually MMA, long before the world even had that word. People didn't understand what he was doing. They said he was unfocused, too scattered. But Donnie was not searching for one style. He was searching for truth, searching for what worked, searching for what made a fighter complete. No one knew it then, but this experimentation would one day reshape the modern martial arts film industry. As Donnie grew older, his reputation as a young martial artist began spreading. His mother sent him to China for deeper training at the Beijing Wushu Academy. There, he followed in the footsteps of another student who came before him, Jet Li. Donnie didn't go there to become a star. He went to sharpen the blade. But destiny had other ideas. One day, legendary Hong Kong action director Woon Woo Ping, the man who had discovered Jackie Chan, saw Donnie move. He watched his speed, his precision, his power, and he knew instantly. "This kid," he said, "has something different." Woon invited Donnie into film. Just like that, a new path opened, and a young martial artist who once trained in quiet gyms now stood on film sets, surrounded by legends. But Donnie's first years in Hong Kong cinema weren't easy. Jet Li was already a superstar. Jackie Chan was rewriting action comedy, and Hong Kong audiences had seen dozens of martial arts hopefuls come and go. Donnie was new. He was intense. He was serious. And not everyone was ready for that. His early films were praised for their fight scenes, but ignored at the box office. People admired him, but they didn't yet love him, and Donnie felt it. He had the talent, he had the skill, but something wasn't clicking, something wasn't connecting. He worked harder, pushed deeper, expanded his training even more. Muay Thai, Western boxing, submission grappling. Donnie wasn't just building a screen fighter, he was building a martial arts machine. And then came the moment that changed everything. Not for the world, but for Donnie himself. He transitioned from actor to fight choreographer to action director. Suddenly, Donnie wasn't just in the scene, he was designing it. And he brought innovation the industry had never seen. High-speed movements captured with modern editing, ground-and-pound grappling mixed with kung fu structure, pre-UFC mixed martial arts being showcased in films years before MMA went global. People started noticing. Other actors tried copying his style. Competitors began studying his techniques. Donnie Yen was about to redefine what modern martial arts cinema looked like. He starred in classics like Iron Monkey, where audiences saw the potential of a new kind of martial arts leading man, sharp, intense, emotional, and precise in every frame. Still, the true global breakthrough had not yet come. Years passed. Hong Kong cinema changed. Jackie Chan and Jet Li became worldwide icons, and Donnie Yen, despite his talent, remained one level below the throne. Some men would have accepted this fate. Donnie didn't. He kept sharpening the blade. He kept improving the craft. He kept waiting for the role that would finally let him show the world who he truly was. And then destiny arrived. A project came to his desk. A film about a real martial arts master, a Wing Chun teacher, a peaceful, humble man who once trained a student named Bruce Lee. The film was called Ip Man. When Donnie read the script, he felt something. This wasn't just another kung fu movie. This was a chance to honor a real martial lineage, a chance to show martial arts not as violence, but as philosophy, discipline, emotional strength. The producers believed Donnie Yen was the best man for the role. Donnie agreed, but knew the world would demand more than acting. He had to become Ip Man. Months of intensive Wing Chun training followed, hours a day, structure, chi sao, precision, centerline theory. He committed to every principle until the movement lived inside him. When filming began, Donnie didn't just play Ip Man, he embodied him. And when Ip Man hit theaters, everything changed. The world had seen kung fu before, but it had never seen stillness as power, calm as strength, silence as dominance. Donnie Yen delivered a performance that was not loud, but unforgettable. Scenes like the 10 black belts fight became instant legends. Suddenly, Wing Chun schools exploded worldwide. Martial arts fans who had never heard of Ip Man now spoke his name. And Donnie Yen finally took his place among cinematic giants. The film didn't just revive his career, it made him international. Hollywood noticed, directors noticed, martial artists noticed, Bruce Lee fans noticed. Donnie Yen had finally risen into the position many believed he always deserved. But unlike many actors who peak and relax, Donnie climbed higher. He starred in Ip Man 2, Ip Man 3, and Ip Man 4, each time adding new emotional layers. He fought boxers, soldiers, karate masters, but the real battles were internal. Humility versus ego, peace versus aggression, principle versus corruption. And audiences connected deeply. Because Donnie wasn't just fighting on screen, he was living the principles of martial arts: discipline, respect, honor, control. Even in Hollywood, Donnie stunned audiences. In Rogue One, a Star Wars story, millions saw him prove that martial arts wasn't just choreography, it was character. And with John Wick 4, facing Keanu Reeves, Donnie Yen displayed a screen presence so confident, so smooth, so effortless, that fans worldwide whispered, "He stole the show." After decades of grinding, failing, rising, and evolving, Donnie Yen stands today not only as one of the greatest martial arts actors ever, but as one of the greatest martial artists ever. Not because he fights, but because he represents what martial arts truly means: growth over time, mastery over self, never stopping, never settling. From childhood halls of discipline to film sets where he had everything to prove, to a global legacy few can rival, Donnie Yen proved that success is not an explosion, it is a lifetime of preparation. He made Ip Man a legend, and in doing so, he became one himself. So when people talk about Donnie Yen, they will remember the speed, the precision, the unbelievable fight scenes. But the real legacy? A man who took the values his mother gave him, carried them across oceans into one of the hardest industries in the world, and left a mark that will outlast any era, any trend, any generation. Donnie Yen teaches us you can start unnoticed. You can struggle for years. You can be overshadowed, overlooked, underrated. But if you keep sharpening your blade, there will come a day when the world finally sees what you have always known. You were born to rise. And that rise is legendary.